Sweep the leg.
What is happening, good people of YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Today's video, we're back here in Car Mechanics Simulator 2021, episode number 4. And if you missed the last episode, go back and watch it now. What the hell are you waiting for? A lot of exciting stuff going on. Today's episode, we are picking up right where we left off with this wonderful story mission car. This is a Mitsubishi Eclipse, and it's going to be a big job. As you can see over here, I have a little Honda Civic and also another Eclipse that I picked up. Little side work. We can also get to that if there's time in the episode. In between the last episode and this episode, I did some work, because that's what I'm all about, doing work. Here at Route 66 Auto Repair, we are all about doing work. Hey, look, whoa, slow down. See that El Camino? Geez, a whiz speeding on by here, going to kill somebody. But we did a lot of little jobs, made a couple extra bucks, and we moved up to level 6. We now have $7,485 in our bank account, and we are well on our way to being able to go to the junkyard, and that is the first goal of this series. We're already level 6, so we can go to the junkyard, but we're not going to be able to do anything there because we don't have enough money. We're also going to need a couple items purchased before we can really make use of the junkyard. Alright, so here's a story mission car. You remember the last episode, we read the little paragraph there. Our customer has brought us their car. Car's already been to a few repair shops, and nobody knows what the hell's wrong with it. That's the problem around here. Off of Route 66, you can't find a reputable mechanic except for us. That's right. We're going to put all the other mechanics to shame. Smack them right in their asses. So we have a lot of parts that have not yet been discovered. It's like 3 pages of parts. We're going to have to look at all kinds of stuff here in order to find out what's wrong with this thing. So let's not dilly-dally any further. Let's stop wasting time. Let's get right to it. And speaking of getting right to it, it's time to get right to it and ask yourself the question of the day. Are you subscribed to the Overly Gaming Project? I mean, if the answer is no, stop what you're doing right now, go in your refrigerator, grab a hot dog, and slap yourself in the face with it. And then subscribe to the channel. What the hell are you waiting for? And then you gotta hit that like button. Even if you don't like the video, you gotta hit it. It's part of the YouTube rules. And leave your comments down below. Doesn't even matter what you say. Alright, going into examination mode, and that's what we're doing. It's always the first thing that we do. Getting that free XP and also taking a look at some of the parts in the car. Maybe we can find out what's wrong with it before we even get it in the shop. All right, there we go. We've examined the whole car. We got ourselves about 72 experience points for doing that. And that is nothing to scoff at. So stop your scoffing, whatever the hell that means. All right, time to go ahead and take this thing and put it inside the garage on the lift. All right, here it is, a gold Mitsubishi Eclipse. Got some nice ground effects in the front. Pretty good looking car. Let's go ahead and get this thing up in the air. All right, so in between the last episode and this episode, I was busy doing some little side missions, gaining some XP, gaining some cash. We're up to level 6. We have 5 skill points we can spend. I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to go right up here to the next level of Renovator. And bam, we are going to put skill points there. And then we're going to go over here and we're going to get a 5% discount on all of the parts that we're going to buy. It's going to help save us some cash in the long run. So bam, let's put a point there. All right, now we only have 2 more skill points, and we're going to save those because we're going to go up this Renovator side, try and get all the way to the top. It's going to help us flip some cars in the future. So the 2 available skill points that we have, we're going to hold on to them. All right, also with some of the extra money that we've earned, we're going to buy this electronic multimeter. It's good for checking electronic connections. And then another helpful tool, we're actually going to go ahead and spend the money right now, 1,500 credits on the onboard diagnostic tool. It's a good scanner to have. Let's go ahead and buy that. And it's actually going to help us out right now with the car that we have. All right, coming into the engine, let's go ahead and start using some of these diagnostic tools. Getting that free experience points, starting with the tire tread monitor thing. That doesn't help us in this mission. Who cares what the tire tread is? But it does give us 4 experience points. All right, going back into your additional tools now for the electronic multimeter. All right, here we go, performing the test. Well, so far all the electronic parts are looking pretty good. And there it is. There's a list of the examined parts. Now for every part you see there, we get an experience point. All right, right back at it. Let's do the compression tester. All right, we found a bad camshaft, a bad piston with con rod, 2 of those things. So that's good that we're examining these parts. We're finding out what's wrong with the car. And we get more experience. All right, time for the OBD scanner. All right, found some bad spark plugs. There's some ignition coils need to be replaced. And there it is. All right, next test is the fuel pressure test. Let's go ahead and get that done. So far, so good there. And there it is. Looks like all these parts are A-okay. All right, so that is all of the testing that we've done. We've examined the car, and would you take a look at this? All those parts that were unknown just a minute ago, a lot of them have been discovered. Now, a lot of them are not discovered, but look, there are a lot that we have discovered, and that's why you do this, the examination and these diagnostics, to help you out with these story mission jobs and some of the other odd jobs that you're going to do here to earn some money. All right, first things first, let's lift this bad boy up off of the ground. Let's get all these fluids out of here, starting with the oil. All right, let's move this thing under here. Let's get that oil out. Kind of a nice caramel color. And now we'll put it back. All right, let's take these wheels off. Uh-oh, looks like we got our first stuck nut of the episode. Oh. Lube it up. It'll come right out. There we go. All right, let's take the rest of these tires off. All right, all the wheels are off the car, and you know, as I was taking the wheels off, I did see some stuff back here that was kind of rusted out, some suspension parts. So, tell you what we're going to do. We're going to have a look back here at some of the suspension pieces, and you can see right there, this little rear sway bar, that's going to have to be replaced. And as we take a quick glance, not really sure what else is going to need to be replaced back here, but I'm sure there's some other things. All right, taking a peek here. Oh, what is this? Check out this rubber bushing here. I see some nastiness on that. Oh, look, it's 3%. We're going to have to check all of the rubber bushings on the entire suspension. I think there's 6 in the back and 4 in the front. All right, going into the list of things, let's highlight this rubber bushing, the rear sway bar. We just saw that. See if we can find anything else in the rear. Wheel hub bearing. All right, let's highlight those. We know where the spark plugs are. We know where all this other stuff is. All right, let's get back under here in the rear and see what else we can discover. So we're going to attack this car in pieces, starting with the back suspension. And there it is. There's a rubber bushing. Let's add that to the shopping list as we keep taking a once over here. Nothing else really standing out that's really rusty. So we're just going to have to take some parts and pieces apart. And let's start with these rubber bushings. All right, there's one. We know that one's bad. And there's a second one right up here. Let's go ahead and take that one out. Yep, that one's bad too. Oh, crap. I bet you they're all going to be bad. Let's take this one out. Yep, that's 3. And here's one I can already see. This one's bad too. That's going to be 4. Let's check out this one. Oh, that's 5. And the last one is right here. And I guarantee this one's going to be bad. All 6 rubber bushings in the back are bad. Let's go ahead into the tablet. And let's buy 6 rubber bushings. There we go. Ba-bam! 6 rubber bushings. Let's go ahead and put them back in. All right, and there's one. All right, here is number 2. Whoop. And number 3 going in. Ba-bam! And here is number 4. Number 5 right over here. And last but not least, number 6 right here. All right, 6 rubber bushings. Switch back to disassemble mode and see what we got to do to get this rear sway bar off. All right, in order for this rear sway bar to come off, we got to take this sway bar rear end link off. There we go. And I'm assuming there's one on the other side. Yep, there it is. Sway bar rear end link. Let's take this side off. There we go. Now we can take the rear sway bar off. There we go. Go into our tablet. Rear sway bar, 120 bucks. Let's buy it. All right, back into assembler mode. Let's put the new rear sway bar on. Put these rear end links back. All right, let's go ahead and get this side. Put that back in there. All right, let's come into our list and unhighlight these 2 things. And we still need wheel hub bearings, which I don't see in the rear. And then we need a bunch of stuff in the engine. Yeah, I don't really see much else going on here in the rear. I mean, there might be some brake issues. I do kind of see some rust up in there. All right, let's lower the car down so we can check out the engine. We're also going to take care of some of these other fluids. Let's get these fluids drained so we don't cause a mess and cost ourselves a bunch of money to clean it up. All right, power steering's out. Let's do the coolant now. All right, let's get this brake fluid out of here. And the oil's already out, so we should be good to go. Oh, I see a highlighted blue item right down there on that wheel. And I'm assuming that's like the wheel hub bearing. All right, so that's what that is. So I guess on the other side, it's going to need to be replaced too. Yep, you can see it highlighted blue right down here. But let's worry about this engine stuff first. All right, everything we can get to from the top, I'm going to go ahead and highlight. All right, all this stuff in blue. We got some ignition coils. Let's go ahead and take these out. All right, looks like the two in the middle here are bad. We're going to add that to the shopping list. But we got to take all of them out because we have got to get this engine cover off. All right, ignition coils are out. Let's take out these spark plugs. We're going to add that to the list because you know some of those are going to have to be replaced. All right, spark plugs are out. Let's take off this engine cover. Uh-oh, stuck nuts again. Lube them up. All right, engine cover is off. We got to get this camshaft out of here. So we got to take these little brackets off one at a time. This is a tedious job right here. All right, bracket number 2 coming off. Now let's get to bracket numbers 3 and 4. Uh-oh, it's a stuck nut. You know what we got to do?
Lube it up.
All right, all the brackets are off, but we can't get that camshaft out. We're going to add it to our shopping list, but we got to take all the pieces on the side off. Well, let's go ahead and start with this side with the timing cover. All right, timing cover is coming off. Got this cam gear. Let's take that off. That's looking pretty good. Tell you what's not looking good here is this cam gear A. Looks a bit rusty. Let's take off the timing chain first. I don't know if this the timing chain's bad. Add that to the shopping list. Cam gear, we added that to the shopping list. That doesn't look too good. So it looks like all that stuff has to be replaced. And we're going to take this intake manifold off. But before we do that, we got to take the throttle off. A little throttle body action. There's some big old screws in there. Ain't nothing wrong with a big old screw. I'm just saying. All right, intake manifold is coming off. And once again, you see it right there on the screen.
A stuck nut.
Lube it up. All right, intake manifold is off. And let's look at these. What are these? Fuel injectors. Uh-oh. All right, that fuel injector is good. This fuel injector looks pretty good. That fuel injector is good. Last one. All right, fuel injectors are all good. I don't think we have to take anything else off on this front part of the engine. Everything else is looking pretty good. Let's go ahead and get around here on the side. All right, starting with the idler roller. All right, next is that serpentine belt. And as we take these pieces off, we're going to look and see what the condition is up in the upper left-hand corner of the screen. All right, crankshaft pulley's okay. Can we get this camshaft out yet? No, we can't. We got to take the timing cover off. Once again, some big old screws in there. All right, now we got to take some of this stuff off so we can get that camshaft out. All right, first things first, I think the belt tensioner needs to come off. All right, looking pretty good. Serpentine belt A, that's in pretty good condition. All right, we got to take this cam gear off. Looks like that's in pretty good condition too. All right, now can we get the camshaft out? We can. We already added it to our shopping list. Let's go ahead and take it out. All right, taking a look around in here, I don't see anything else that's like screaming out at me that says like, please replace me. I know we got to get to the pistons that are in there. So I think we're going to have to take this other camshaft out, and we're also going to have to take the engine head off in order to get to those pistons. Let's go ahead and do that now. We're just going to take all this crap off. It's a big job when you have to rip all this stuff off and get down into the pistons. All right, what is stopping us from taking this engine head cover? Oh, I see it. It's the idler roller A. All right, let's take that off. Okay, engine head can come off. Now we can look in here at these pistons. And it looked like 2 of these pistons needed to be replaced, but we can't take the pistons out until we go underneath the car, take off the oil pan, and there's these little clips that you got. They're like piston clips. That's a lot of stuff. So tell you what we're going to do first. We're going to go into the tablet and we're going to buy some of the things that we needed as we were disassembling the engine. Got the timing chain. We needed a new cam gear. We needed a new camshaft. Here's our spark plugs. Let's just go ahead and buy 4 of those. And ignition coils, I think we needed 2 of those, so we're going to buy those. So it looks like we've got all the parts that we need for the upper part of the engine. Now here we go, front drive shaft. We're going to need one of those. And it looks like we can get to this from the top of the engine. We got to take off the front drive axles on both sides. Let's go ahead and take those off. All right, now we can get this front drive shaft off. There we go. Before we forget about it, let's go buy one of those. There's nothing more annoying than putting an engine back together, and then you realize after you've put it all back together, there's a piece inside that you forgot about. I mean, I'm not saying it's happened to me before. I'm just saying it's really annoying. Tell you what, while we're in here, we can get to this wheel hub bearing. Let's go ahead and take this thing out and replace it. Wheel hub bearing, 12 bucks. Let's go ahead and pop that bad boy back in there. There we go. Got that taken care of. There's one down here on the other side too. Go ahead and put a new one back on. There we go. Perfect. All right, hey, look, you know what? While we're in here, the front sway bar, oh, it's only accessible from under the car. Crap. All right, here we go, lifting the car. Boy, this is a big job. I hope they pay us well for this. I'm just saying. All right, starting with the oil pan. Here we go. All right, the oil pan is off. And all right, we're in here. There's all these little bits and pieces. All right, let's start with these rod caps. There should be 4 of those. All right, there's the first one. Oh, here's rod cap number 2. Ooh, that rod cap was bad. It was only at 11%. Let's go ahead and highlight the next one and add it to the shopping list. All right, let's take this one off. Wonder if this one's bad. Yep, that one's bad too. Looks like we're going to need 2 of those. Let's check out this last one. Oh, that one's bad too. We're going to need 3 rod caps. Tell you what, I'm not forgetting about that. Let's go ahead into the store right now and buy some of those. Gosh, do we need 3 or 4? Let's go with 3. Can always come back if we need to buy a 4th one, but I think it was just 3 of them that were bad. All right, we still can't take out the pistons because we got these crankshaft bearing caps. I'm pretty sure you need to take these off, but I'm not quite sure. Well, you know what? We might as well take them off anyway because who knows? They could be bad too. Oh, and it is. Crankshaft bearing cap. It's bad. Jeez. I think there's 3 of these. Go ahead and take the second one off. God, that one's bad too. Okay. Hey, look, I tell you what, we're discovering a lot of bad stuff under here. These are all the parts that had yet to been discovered. And there's the 3rd one that's bad. All right, right away, let's get in here and buy 3 of those. All right, I think we can take the pistons out now. Let's go ahead and lower the car back down. And then we can get in the engine and check out those pistons. But we have stripped this engine down to nothing. Here we go, piston number 1. All right, piston number 1 is pretty good. Piston number 2, that is bad. Piston number 3, that is also bad. And now piston number 4, and that's okay. So we just need 2 piston with con rings or con rods, whatever that's called. All right, we know we need to get back under the car and get the sway bar. Probably some other bits and bobs that we've forgotten about that we need to replace. Let's go ahead and look at the car status, see where we are. We're going to unhighlight all this stuff. And we've got some parts that have not yet been discovered. Looks like there are 5 parts that haven't been discovered yet. What do you want to bet? It's the stupid rubber bushings on the front. I can see it. It's bad. Son of a bitch. All right, we're not playing around. We're going right in here. We're going to buy 4 more rubber bushings. Here we go. There's one. Stupid rubber bushings. Look, here's the second one right back here. Oh, there it is. Let's take it out. It's always these little hidden parts that this game tries to trip you up with. Oh, there's the other one. Let's go ahead and take it on out. I can see that it's bad. Tell you what, that's why I love this game. I mean, you really got to get in here in these cars, which is really awesome. All right, here's the last one right here in front of us. All right, there it is. Putting in the new one. All right, so that's going to be 4 out of the 5 pieces that were not yet discovered. And there's something else in here. I don't know what it is. Let's take another look here. We've got 1 part that has not yet been discovered. Oh, God. What could it be? Let's go ahead and lift the car back up. We're going to replace that sway bar. All right, here's this sway bar. We got to take off these side sway bars in order to get this main one off. Let's go ahead and do this right now. Front sway bar, where are you? There we go, 110 buckaroos. Let's put that bad boy back on. All right, let's put the side ones back on, and then we'll be done with this section. And, oh, you know what I forgot about? We got to take the gearbox off. I think there was something about a clutch or something, wasn't there? Let's check. Let's read this thing here. The things each expert said didn't make sense. Constant banging, it's unbearable, and the gearbox isn't working. All right, there's something in the gearbox. That's probably what we need to discover as our last part here. All right, well, let's go ahead and take out the start. Oh, God, son of a bitch. We're going to have to take off the oil filter and all this stuff. All right, let's get up above the car and let's go ahead and take that starter off. Boy, we are rolling now. We are almost done. I can feel it. I can smell the end of this mission. All right, there's the starter. Let's take it off. 2 bolts and bam, there it goes. All right, lift the car up and back underneath. Boy, it's a lot of exercise for a mechanic. I mean, you would think that the mechanic is not a very physical profession with lots of exercise, but I tell you what, we're getting our fair share here, going up and down and up and down. All right, there we go. Oh, you can see there's some rusted out parts in there. Clutch release bearing. That's pretty good. Clutch pressure plate. Let's take that off. And wouldn't you know it, the clutch plate. Let's add that to the shopping list. There's the culprit in the gearbox. Oh, and the flywheel. Oh, okay, Mr. Flywheel. I see you hiding in there all rusted out. Tell you what, we're not playing around. Let's go ahead and buy a new flywheel. $500. Damn. And we're going to buy a new clutch plate. There it is. That one's 90. Not too shabby. All right, it's time to start putting this engine back together. Put a brand new flywheel back on. Now we put a brand new clutch plate back on. Put this pressure plate back on. I tell you what, we'll take a look at the list of parts and make sure that we've discovered everything. Here we go. Put the gearbox back on. I'm pretty sure that did it. All right, here we go. Let's take a look. That's it. We discovered all the pieces. All right, all we got to do is put this engine back together. There we go. Oil filters back on. We can put the drive shaft back in. All right, we can put these drive axles back on. Here's the other drive axle. Screw that bad boy in. Before we do any more underneath here, we got to go back and put those pistons in. Here we go, up and down, up and down. Good Lord, it's like doing burpees. And nobody likes to do burpees, let me tell you. If you're the kind of person that likes to do burpees, I feel sorry for you. All right, we're putting the old pistons back on the outsides. It was the 2 pistons in the middle that needed to be replaced. Let's go ahead and get these back in there. All right, pistons are in. Now we can put the engine head back on. All right, tell you what, while we're up here, let's go ahead and start putting all this stuff back together. Intake manifold, there we go. We got to get way underneath here and put these fuel injectors back in. Tell you what, that's a pain in the ass. I'd hate to be a mechanic with big old fat sausage fingers. I mean, you never get anything done. I mean, how the hell are you going to get to that fuel injector way in there if you got your fat sausage fingers? It ain't going to happen. I'm just telling you. Put that throttle back on. Got those big old screws. All right, starter's going back on. Jeez, man, there is a lot of stuff in this job. I told you it was going to be a big job. All right, spark plugs are back in. Let's put the camshafts back in. Now we got to put all these camshaft clips back on. All right, last camshaft clip thingy going back on. Oh man, engine head cover back on. Boy, this job is like the never-ending job from hell. Tell you what, we better get a good Yelp review out of this client here, or else we are gonna be pissed. All right, ignition coils going back in. And remember, it was the 2 in the middle that needed to be replaced, so let's put the new ones in the middle. All right, exhaust manifold, don't forget that. And there's our turbocharger. You don't want to forget that either. There it is. Lock it into place. All right, coming around to this side. Got to put all these little gears and pulleys and belts back on. All right, all that stuff. Oh, we just reached level 7. Timing covers back on. Let's screw that in. All right, over to the other side. This camera sucks so bad. Golly. I remember the new cam gear we got to put on. And our new timing chain. And the timing cover. And the fuel filter. All right, looks like this side's pretty done. I think we're done on the top. All right, let's get back under the car. We're gonna put the oil pan back on, all those little clips and stuff. And let's wrap this up and get the hell out of here. All right, oil pan's going back on. I see the light at the end of the tunnel. Oh my God, look, we got green check marks on everything. That is awesome. Man, there's only one thing left to do, and that's change the oil. Let's put these tires back on. I'll tell you what, it's not a bad idea before you complete any mission that's really complicated like this, check your inventory to make sure you don't have any extra parts that you forgot to put back in the engine. I mean, you'd be surprised. You forget one little clip or something in there and all hell breaks loose when you try to give the car back to the customer. All right, last wheel going on. All right, last wheel is on. Let's go ahead and lower this bad boy, put the fluids back in it, and we are done. Starting off with the oil. Glub, 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 glub. All right, oil is done. Brake fluid next. Here we go. Fill her on up. Glub, 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 glub. All right, now on to power steering fluid. Here we go, that nice square green metal can. All right, don't forget your coolant. It's a very important thing to have for your car. All right, last but not least, we got the windshield washer fluid. Let's top her off. And that should be everything. Let's just double check all the green check marks are there. Checking our inventory. I don't see anything in here that is a value that we forgot to put back on the car. So let's go ahead and end this mission. Wow, 4,600 bucks. And we are up to $8,346. We're up to level 7. Let's come over to the toolbox. We got 4 available skill points, and let's go ahead and put one right here, the next level of the Renovator perk. We have 1 skill point left, and we're going to save that as well. 8,346 bucks. We have enough to buy the welder, but I tell you what, we're going to wait on that purchase maybe until the next episode or the episode after that. We really want to get up to about 10 to 15,000 bucks, and then we can go over to the junkyard. But let's take a look at our next mission. It's a Bolt Hornet, which is a very awesome car.
Good morning. Would you be able to help me? It's my first car. It might not be the perfect car, but it's mine. I've always dreamed about one like this, so I finally managed to save some cash, and I started looking immediately. It seems that I might have gotten a bit carried away. I heard that this doesn't bode well. The salesman said the brakes need to be repaired, but the rest is in perfect condition. Well, this morning, I heard a banging in the back, and it pulls to the right. I hope it's nothing serious. I'll borrow some cash if necessary, but I hope it's just the brakes. I can't wait to hit the road again. Please do a checkup and replace what you need. See ya.
All right, I tell you what, so in this next mission, we got to fix the body parts, we got to change the oil, and some other tasks. And that is going to be coming up in the next episode. There it is. Wow, awesome green Camaro from the 90s. This is badass. One of those cars growing up that I just absolutely loved. And we are going to get under the hood and get under the chassis in the next episode. Guys, thanks for sticking around. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, leave your comments down below, do all the things that you have to do to support us lowly YouTubers. But most importantly, thank you for letting me be a part of your day. It means a lot. And we are going to see you right back here in the next video.